Good morning, everyone. My name is Annie Fink, and I am the Marketing Coordinator for Wonderware California. Thank you for attending our Learn in 30 webinar today, focused on how to get your data in and out of the AVEVA cloud. After the webinar this morning, we will be doing a short Q&A. Please type any questions or comments into the Q&A box, the chat box, or you can email us at webinar@california.wonderware.com. Now I'd like to introduce your presenter for today's webinar, Tim Brost. Tim is a product specialist at Wonderware California. Good morning, Tim.
Good morning, Annie, and good morning to everyone else out there. And thank you for joining us at our Learn in 30 webinar on AVEVA Insight, which is our cloud historian. So an overview of the webinar, we'll first introduce ourselves and who we are as Wonderware California, and then we'll go into a couple different demos. First, getting data up into AVEVA Insight, specifically from the Wonderware historian, InTouch Edge, and a CSV file. And then we'll go into using AVEVA Insight with the browser-based client, the mobile app, how to use Excel and integrate AVEVA Insight, as well as look into OEE dashboards. So Wonderware Today. We're known as the first HMI SCADA industrial software platform on Windows since 1987. We're commonly known as the lowest risk SCADA solution and the easiest to use. We have over 30 years of seamless migration. We provide both local and global support. And our scalability allows you to start from a single node, and as your company grows and more capability is needed, you can scale all the way up to an enterprise solution. So as Wonderware, we provide application consulting and industry expertise. We provide local education in a few different types of forms via training, free workshops, and informational videos on our YouTube channel. As I said, we have local technical support for any questions you might have on current products you guys are using. And we're happy to work with our system integrators and OEMs to provide professional IT services. Also, for those of you guys out there who are in Southern California, please attend our Industry User Conference, which is happening in a couple of weeks. It's split up into a wastewater and manufacturing focus. It's going to be happening over the course of 4 days and 3 cities. On March 12th, it's going to be in Bakersfield. March 13th and 14th, it'll be in Anaheim. And March 15th, it'll be in San Diego. If you're interested in participating in the event, please go to california.wonderware.com. So what is AVEVA Insight? In short, it's a secure, managed cloud historian. And it allows you to collect, store, and visualize equipment process and performance data. It also allows you to consistently capture accurate and real-time data automatically from anywhere. It provides you a user-friendly access to data with no business network access needed, so no more use of a VPN. And you can access this data via 3 ways: the browser client, the mobile app, as well as the Excel app. And some data sources that it supports are the Wonderware product line, OPC servers, and JSON and CSV files. And if you have any questions about the security regarding AVEVA Insight, please go to trust.wonderware.com. So this diagram depicts the basic architecture of AVEVA Insight. So down at the bottom, you have your control network where all your data sources will push the data through a one-way firewall into the Insight DMZ secure link. And then there it'll be repackaged and sent through another one-way firewall out through your business network where it can be accessed on the internet. So what are the benefits of AVEVA Insight? You can access your data anytime and anywhere. You can be up and running with data being able to view on AVEVA Insight in as little as 5 minutes. It saves costs in the form of having little IT infrastructure and maintenance required. It allows for an increased efficiency and reliability, as well as allows you to maintain compliance and security within your plant. And some use cases from previous customers have been for diagnostics and troubleshooting, regulatory reporting, identifying improvement opportunities, as well as downtime tracking and production and energy consumption reporting. So an outline of the demo, as I said before, we'll be going into using data sources from the historian, InTouch Edge, and CSV files. And then we'll go into using Insight with creating dashboards, looking at the newsfeed feature, looking at the different types of charts and grids that are available, as well as configuring and interacting with alerts and alarms, looking at the Excel integration and Insight performance features, as well as the Insight mobile app. So let's go ahead and get into AVEVA Insight. And in AVEVA Insight, when you first start, let's get to this demo first. And in AVEVA Insight, you'll first need to get data up into it in order to view anything inside Insight. So let's go to our System Management Console. And in our System Management Console, to push data from your historian to Insight, you first need to connect to or set up a replication server. And how to get to there, you expand historian, configuration editor, replication, and replication servers. And as you can see, I already have an AVEVA Insight server set up, but if you wanted to start a new one or create your own, all you have to do is right-click, click New Replication Server. Under node name, you can give it any name that you'd like. So maybe I'll give it a test server name. And the next thing is that I just have to check this Replicate to AVEVA Insight box, and then click Register. And then from here, it'll ask you to choose your region. It'll ask you to sign in. And then after you sign in, it'll prompt you to give a name for the data source. You'll click OK. And then you'll click Next and then Finish on the next dialog box. And you'll have your replication server set up. Now after that, you need to push some tags up into AVEVA Insight as well. So as we expand our replication servers and our newly created AVEVA Insight server, go into Simple Replication. And as you can see, I have a couple of tags already set up. But if you want to add some more tags, all you have to do is right-click and click Add Multiple Tags. And I know I have a couple of tank tags that I'd like to add. And so I'll filter out with the word tank. And I want to add this tank 1 and tank 4 tag. And I'll select that over and click OK. And then all I have to do is click Apply down below. And in the status column right here, it'll show you that it's passed. So I click Close. And now I have those tags being sent to AVEVA Insight. All right, moving on to InTouch Edge. So the first thing you need to do is set up your database gateway. And what you need to do is open up your File Explorer, go to your Program Files and find your Wonderware folder, and then go to InTouch Edge and your bin folder. You'll scroll all the way down to your Studio Database Gateway application right here, and you'll double-click. And then down at the bottom in your taskbar in the hidden icons, you'll expand that and double-click the Studio Database Gateway icon. And this is your database gateway. So under here, you'll click File and AVEVA Insight Connections. And again, you can see that I already have a connection set up. But if you want to set up an additional or your own connection, maybe you can give it your name, maybe Test Connection. And we'll go ahead and click Add. And then you'll go through the same process. You'll select your region, you'll sign in, and then give a name for the data source. Click OK. And then your new connection name will appear down here in this panel right below. Now, the only thing you need to do is remember this name for the next part for InTouch Edge. So if we go into our development environment, and under the Task tab in our Project Explorer, and we can go to the Trend folder and go into our Trend worksheet. And under History Format, all we need to do is select Historian. And under Historian Configuration, you go to Connection Type and make sure AVEVA Insight Publisher is selected. And then Connection Name, this is the name that you gave your database gateway. So for me, it was ITEH. The database settings, you can select a string tag for any prefix you might want to better locate those tags. You can enable store and forward if you don't expect much downtime. For runtime settings, you have the ability to set up status and reload tags. And for gateway settings, I just have the local host and port number. And click OK. Then you'll just add your tags that you'd like. Right now I have a sine and cosine wave tag. And then all you have to do is save the changes, and then you're free to go ahead and go into AVEVA Insight. Lastly, we'll show you how to upload a CSV file. So if we go to the top right in Insight Suite and go under Administration, and then go to Data Sources, as it loads, you'll see all the data sources previously set up directly from AVEVA Insight. But if I want to add a new one, I'll click the Add up top and CSV JSON. Give it a name for the data source. So I'll just give it CSV file and click OK. And a couple lines up top, you have your endpoint URL and your bearer token. And you can use these if you want to push directly from an HTTPS endpoint using a third-party application, maybe such as Postman. But if you already have files saved on your computer or node, you can quickly just drag and drop the file into this box right here. And to show that, I'll just simply download the sample file and create a CSV file, and then simply just drag and drop into the area, and it'll prompt me when it's been submitted successfully, and I'll click OK and close. And as it loads, you'll see that the CSV file was uploaded for my data sources. All right, so let's go ahead and interact with the AVEVA Insight. So as we go to the home page and as it loads, let's get first acquainted with a little bit of the features with the AVEVA Insight. So we have our search bar up top, and we have two tabs for saved suggested content as well as some saved dashboards. And over to the right, you have your news feature. So as you push data to Insight, it takes about a week or two for Insight to learn trends regarding that data, and then it'll begin to show you stories about any unusual or interesting events in your data trends. So let's go ahead and search for those tags that I saved with my task worksheet in in InTouch Edge. And let's go to ITE for that prefix. And I can just click this names that include the ITE, and my cosine and sine wave appear. So I have my cosine, my current value, the current trends with those tags, as well as a snapshot of the current data range that I'm viewing. So down at the bottom, you can view your data all the way from 30 days down to the last hour, or you can even go to a custom time limit as well. So if I go ahead and click Custom, and maybe I want to view the last 5 minutes. So I'll type in 10:07:00 and click Apply. And you'll notice that the snapshot changed as well as the trending changed as well. If I go ahead and click Show Gallery, I have a bunch of different gallery options: line charts, column charts, maps, detail grids, and XY plots. And if I want to save what I have here as this status board, I can go down right here and have a couple different options to share it. So I can share the link directly. I can embed the link in an external location. I can download to Excel or Excel Online, as well as I can save directly to AVEVA Insight. So if I go ahead and click Save and give a name, so I'll give it a name of Wave Status Board. And then over here on this icon to the right, I have the ability to save the fixed dates that I saved the data, or I can save the latest data. Down in the keywords, I can create a keyword and it'll help me better navigate and find this chart. And so I'll type in the word wave. And then I can make this visible to only me or my entire team. I'll leave it to only me. And if I like, I can click and enable shareable link. So I like what I see and I'll click Save. And let's go ahead and view a line chart. Now with the line chart, it automatically generates and it saves the current custom time that I previously set it as. And I have the ability to hide the tags simply by clicking on the tag name. Over on the y-axis, I have the ability to auto-scale if I'd like, as well as stack the axes. But maybe I want to go back to a single axis. And down at the bottom, as I go to the x-axis, you'll see some navigational tools. expand right, zoom in, out, go to the left. And as I use my mouse as well, if I click and drag left and right with the left mouse button, I can slide left and right. And with the mouse wheel, I can scroll in and out to zoom. If I'd like to add a comment, all I have to do is go up top to the top right and click the Add Comment icon. And then I'll select anywhere on the graph I'd like to make a comment. Maybe something unusual happened, and I'd like to take note of that. And maybe it happened for the cosine wave. And I'll say, maybe unusual event, and make it visible to only me, and click Save. And so now this comment icon appears on the graph, and if I click on it, it'll give me all the comment features. The date and time when the comment was located on the chart, the last time it was modified, as well as by that user it was created, as well as the comment itself. All right, so let's go. I like what I see, and let's go ahead and save this. And again, we'll just give it a name, wave line chart. And we'll use the same keyword that we used last time and click Save. And as it saves. And lastly, let's go to a detailed grid. So detailed grids, what they do is they allow you to see a couple of different statistics. And as it loads, you'll have average, min, max, last, and total. And if I select a different time period, it'll give me, for maybe the last hour, I have currently selected it to show me in intervals of 15 minutes. And so I like what I see, and so I want to save. And I'll save it as the wave detailed grid. And again, using that same keyword, and click Save. So now that I have a couple of charts and grids that using the same keyword, I have the ability to create a dashboard. So if I go into the search bar and search for the keyword that we've been using, and I click on the keywords including the word wave and click this wave dashboard icon, it'll automatically generate a dashboard using wave as it loads. Let's try that again. Wave, and select keywords, and select wave. And as it loads, a wave dashboard should appear. There it is. Just took a little bit of time. And so now we have our 3 charts and grids that we previously saved. So if we go back into the line chart, we have the ability to also set alerts that'll be able to send directly to your phone or maybe a smartwatch. So if we go under this Show Data Tag icon and expand the tag properties with this drop-down box, we'll see the tag properties as well as we can have the ability to set an alert. So we have a couple of different options. You can do greater than, greater or equal to, not equal to, or less than. And so maybe I want to set an alert when this tag is greater than a value of 90. And you also have the option to notify when the alert is cleared as well. And we'll just select Save. And now, up in the top right, anytime this alert is active, it'll appear here, as well as I have the ability to show all my currently saved alerts. And as this loads, it'll show you the active alert that we just saved. All right. So moving on. So AVEVA Insight also has the ability to leverage system platform alarming configurations. And with those, and by doing that, you can interact with the alarms set from system platform and do a couple of things with that. So I know I have a tag, a tank temperature tag called demo tank temperature. And I'll load that, and I'll give it a custom value of, again, maybe 5 minutes. So 10, 14, 00, and click Apply. And I'll go into a line chart. as it loads, and I scroll in a little bit to get a little bit more resolution, and there it goes. So as you see, the highlighted part of the chart is the part of the graph where the alarm is active. And as you click on the highlighted part, it'll give you some settings, the alarm severity. And if I want to use my object viewer in System Platform to acknowledge the alarm, I can just use this acknowledge message attribute. And if I double click, and maybe it was a false alarm, and I'll click OK. And as I go to the pan to the right, and as it loads, this checkbox shows the acknowledge alarm button. So it shows that the alarm was acknowledged, the severity of the alarm type, as well as the comment given for the acknowledgement. All right, so let's go ahead, and I'm going to go ahead and connect to my iPhone screen. And as I share my screen, I'm going to pull it up, and there's my screen. So as you log into AVEVA Insight on the mobile app, it'll directly show you the content, and it's sorted in alphabetical. So as you scroll down, you see that all the alphabetical content, and as I reload, I'll see the wave detailed grid, the wave line chart, as well as the wave status board. And if I select the stars, it'll add it to my favorites page. I have the ability to select maybe the line chart. And in the chart, I have the ability to navigate as I normally would using my 2 fingers. I can click on the comment previously made earlier in the webinar and view that and maybe edit it at the top right. I can hide tags that I'd like by selecting the top. And I have the ability to go into this Quick View tab, and the cosine wave tag shows that I have an alert previously set up. And if I want to edit that alert, I simply just click and hold and click the Edit Alert. And so instead of maybe a greater than tag, I can maybe set it to greater than and equal to. And then I just click Save. Again, I can view my alerts, the active alerts, as well as all the alerts. And as you see, it'll change. The cosine wave tag was changed to greater than or equal to. And the next tab, I can view the news feed. Again, as your data gets pushed into Insight, you'll be able to view any kind of unusual or interesting events with your data. Lastly, and as at the top, you saw that the alert went off for the cosine wave. Lastly, if you have a geotag associated with any tag that you're pushing to AVEVA Insight, you can view it in the map, and it'll show you the location of that tag. So this boiler temperature tag is, as I scroll out, somewhere in the mid-valley. All right, so I'll go ahead and disconnect and stop mirroring. And let's go ahead and talk about Excel integration. So if I go back into my PowerPoint, and right here I have a screenshot of the Excel add-in, and this is the basic template of the Excel add-in. How to get to this point, you go to your options in Excel and then go to Trust Center settings. And there you'll add your UNC path. And once you add that path, you'll save and restart Excel, and then you can select the add-in from the Insert tab. From there, you can import and choose the range you'd like to import from, as well as the tags to import. And then you can select between 15-minute, hourly, daily aggregates, as well as the raw data. And some statistics, you have average, min, max, last, and total. So let's go back into the demo. And this is the basic demo that any of you guys can access on online.wonderware.com. You simply just click Try It for Free. So a couple different things before we go into the Insight performance. There's different gallery options if you have a discrete tag. So I have a state tag for a Clearwater outlet, and if I click the discrete data, my status board changes, so I can view each tag's state, what percentage has been on and off, as well as how many transitions. And I have the option to do a time and state chart, which is going to be a bar graph with the different time and states as it loads. Let's try it again. There it goes. And if I'd like, I have the ability to look at a Gantt chart as well as I scroll down. And it'll give you a timeline of when it's running and maybe when it stopped and for how long. All right, so let's go ahead and go into the Insight performance, and let's go under equipment efficiency. And over on the left, we have all of our imported equipment. So we have some fillers, cappers, case packers, and palletizers. And let's view case packer 1. So I can see its current equipment state, that it's running, and that it's in the middle of a production run. I have the ability to stop the production run if I want as well. And then over on the right, I have an OEE dashboard broken down into the availability, performance, and quality. I have some stoppages data. So the amount of stoppages, the total duration, and the time since the last stoppage, as well as a timeline grid of planned downtime, maybe some unplanned downtime, as well as when it was running, and some reasons for that. So for this planned downtime, it was a planned meeting or a break. You have some KPIs for downtime reasons by count as well as duration. And then at the bottom, you have a time summary, how long it's been in idle, runtime, as well as downtime. And if I select maybe 4 hours, it'll adjust to that time range as well. If I go to production events, it'll show me the current production. So for this production, it was planned on a quantity of 720 cases, the ideal rate of 4 cases per minute, and how long it's supposed to take of 3 hours. You have this status bar right here in the middle with the ideal target of 458 and the actual completed cases of 401. You have your estimated completion time and your total active run duration of 4 hours and 3 minutes. During an active run, you have the ability to add good production reasons, the quantity as well as a reason, as well as waste production reasons. And then down at the bottom, you'll have a count for the amount of good production and waste production reasons that you currently have. And then OEE data properties shows you simple properties of this equipment, so the crew associated with the equipment, the product code, shift name, and work order. And on the right, you have the ability to edit this as well. If I go over to OEE analysis, and this will be the last thing. In the utilization analysis, I have a chart of availability of all my different equipment in percent, the total downtime occurrences, the mean time to repair in minutes, as well as the mean time between failure. And if I want to hide certain tags, I have the ability to as well. And lastly, the OEE analysis tab simply breaks down all the OEE dashboard for all my equipment, again broken down into availability, performance, and quality. And that'll conclude our webinar. And at this moment, I'll take any questions that you guys might have. Thank you.
Perfect. Thank you, Tim. So our first question is, does it support eDNA historian as data source?
Yeah, you can upload a data source. You can upload the data source via eDNA. Yeah, it does support it.
Perfect. And can users access data from multiple devices?
Yeah. So as you saw in the demo, I was able to access the data from both my browser as well as my phone, and that was done on the same license.
Okay, and then how can I access the data for custom reports?
So for custom reports, Insight supports OData as an interface for custom reporting. So you can use tools such as Tableau and Excel, for example, to support the interface and online database access.
Perfect. And are there limitations to the number of tags?
Yeah, so the number of tags are dependent on the type of subscription model that you choose. So we offer all the way down from a light to an enterprise solution.
Thank you, Tim, and thank you to everyone who attended. If anyone would like to review any portion of this webinar, our recording will be available on YouTube and our website, california.wonderware.com, later this afternoon, and you'll be receiving a copy of it via email. Thank you again for attending, and have a great weekend.